Dear learners, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, everybody? I hope you are all fine by the grace of Almighty Allah. I am also fine, Alhamdulillah. Today, I am going to take an online class for the student of class 8, subject Islam and Moral Education, chapter 2, lesson 7, topic The Rules of Performing Hajj. Our today's topic, The Rules of Performing Hajj. Now, learning outcome. After this lesson, student will know about Ihram, Tawaf Qudum and Sa'i. Will know the successive roles of Hajj on particular day of the month of Dhul Hijjah. Will know the rules of Hajj in establishing equality and universal brotherhood. Now the rules of performing Hajj. This formality in Islam has to be performed according to certain codes. Perform Hajj also follows definite rules. The importance, practices and rules of performing Hajj are successively stated below. Now the Ihram. Ihram is an Arabic word that stands for prohibition, not allowed to do. As prayer, that means salat, needs tahrima, that means holiness. To put on Ihram is required for Hajj too. This is the formal intention or wish to perform Hajj. It can be taken on any day from the first of the Shawwal to the 9th of Dhul Hijjah. To wear ihram on any other day is not permitted. At this time, the person desiring to perform Hajj and standing facing the Kaaba has to wear a ihram dress and recite talbiyah loudly. If anybody resolved to visit Kaaba in Mecca any time other than the Hajj session, he or she also has to wear ihram just after he or she reaches Miqat, the area of wearing ihram of Hajj. Now Tawaf Qudum, the arrival Tawaf. After wearing ihram and reaching Mecca, one has to go around Tawaf, the Holy Kaaba, 7 times. This is the first Tawaf after the arrival in Mecca. For this reason, this is called Tawaf Qudum or the arrival Tawaf. Tawaf starts from Hajar Aswad, that means the black stone. Now Sa'i, that means running. After the end of Tawaf, it is necessary to pass over the middle path 7 times in between the Safa and Marwa hills situated near the Holy Kaaba. This is called Sa'i, which starts from the Safa hill and ends with the Marwa hill. When with the state of wearing ihram, one has to wait up to the 7th of Dhul Hijjah. During this period, Tawaf as a nafil activity optional can be performed as many times as one likes. Sa'i is not necessary to perform here. Performing this nafil Tawaf earns immense reward. Now, the 7th of Dhul Hijjah, the Imam, that is religious leader, delivers khutbah, that means sermon, on this day after the Zuhr prayer. Here he described the required formalities about Hajj to be performed, especially on the 8th of Dhul-Hajj at Mina and on the 9th of Dhul-Hajj at Arafah. Now the 8th of Dhul-Hajj. On this day, the pilgrims comes to Mina after sunrise. According to sunset formalities, after having bath and wearing ihram dress, the pilgrims go to Masjidul Haram or Baitullah before going to Mina. They go to Mina reciting Talbiyah as soon as they wear ihram and take intention to perform Hajj. To say prayer 5 times there up to the following day belongs to Sunnah activities. Now the 9th of Dhul-Hajj. The 9th is the day of Arafah. On this day, the pilgrims, after saying the first prayer in the morning at Mina, start for the round of Arafah to stay there. Here, they have to say both Johor and Asr prayer at the Johor time behind the Imam. Before the prayer, the Imam delivers khutbah discussing the remaining formalities of Hajj. It is essentially obligatory to stay at the field of Arafah even for moments on the 9th of Dhul-Hajj or under unavoidable circumstances on the following night before the dawn. If not so, the Hajj will be fragmentary or imperfect. On this day, the pilgrims have to return from Arafah towards Muzdalifah after the sunset. Then, reaching Muzdalifah, a place, they have to offer both Isha and Maghrib prayers during Isha prayer together. Then it is necessary for them to pass the night in Muzdalifah. Now the 10th of Dhul-Hajj. The 10th is the day of Qurbani, the sacrifice. The pilgrims start for Mina before sunrise this morning. There are 3 concrete pillars, one after another, as a symbol of Shaitan in a place at Mina. On reaching over there, they are to throw 7 small stones, similar to the size of chickpea, aiming at the image of the Shaitan. Directed by Allah, when Ibrahim was going to sacrifice his only beloved son Ismail, the Shaitan tried to confuse them by introducing doubt in the minds of the father and the son. Being annoyed, they threw stone at the Shaitan. The pilgrims also throw stone to demonstrate their loves to Allah and esteem to the dutifulness. Then the pilgrims are to perform Qurbani sacrifice here at Mina after throwing the stone. After that, they are to release themselves from Ihram after they have got their head shaved. Alternatively, they can have their hair cut with small hair of equal size. On exception, the female pilgrims may have their hair cut from the front part. Then on their return to Mecca on 12 or 13 of the month, they are to perform of that means going around the Holy Kaaba. This tawaf is called tawaf ziyarat, being recognized as the force of Hajj. Now the 11 and 12 of Jilhaz. On reaching first in Makkah, if someone does not perform Sa'i at the Safa and Marwa hills, he or she is to carry out Sa'i after this tawaf. If carried out earlier, it is not required to do. Then the pilgrims have to return to Mina and stay there on the 11th and 12th of Jilhaz. During afternoon on the 11th and 12th, they are to throw 7 stones to each of the 3 pillars at Mina. If they desire, they can back, come back to Makkah on the 12th of Jilhaz. The 13th of Jilhaz. If one stayed there at Mina, he or she has to return to Makkah on the 13th after throwing stone to each of the 3 pillars after the afternoon. Thus, the formalities of Hajj come to an end. The pilgrims from outside Makkah have to complete the departure tawaf, also known as tawaf wida or tawaf during return, as their last activity. This is wajib next to force for the pilgrims from outside of Makkah. Now the flows in performing Hajj and the ways to correct them. During performing Hajj, the pilgrims may commit some mistake or leaves out some rules unwillingly. Of those errors, some are serious and again some are of general category. While performing the wajib of Hajj, if the sequence is not maintained, it becomes a wajib to perform them. For instance, to throw stone at shaitan before having a head shape or haircut. And dam indicates to sacrifice a goat or lamb or sheep. It can also be a share of the 7 shares of a cow or a camel or a buffalo. Usually, while putting on ihram, if anyone does any forbidden act in the area of the Holy Kaaba, he or she has to perform dam or qurbani, that is sacrificed in required. Again, in some cases, it becomes mandatory to give sadaqah, that means give to the poor. Now, the rules of Hajj in establishing equality and universal brotherhood. Hajj is fully a personal ibadat worship. The beloved Hajj is of Allah. Perform the Hajj in order to gain the nearness and blessings of Him. Although It has enough social, cultural, and international impact and importance. During Hajj, the Muslims all over the world become inflamed, especially with religious and moral principles. Those who go to Hajj and those who come to see them off, both are equally infused with religious spirit. The people of the place through which the Hajj is passed feel interested in Hajj by hearing the sound of their labbaik, Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika laka labbaik, innal hamda wal mulk wal ni'mat laka wal mulk la sharika lak. The Hajis from different countries differ in their physical stature, language, and culture. But when they come near to Mikat, putting on Ihram, the words same type of betrayer, their same utterance resonates with echoes and fills the sky and the air. They assemble in Makkah and Medina and stay their pairs behind the semi. The simple Muslim avail themselves of establishing wall fraternity by removing the artificial discrimination of the language, race, country, and caste. That goes the concept of equality in human minds. People of all classes from all over the world get together on these great congregations of Hajj. They exchange their cultures and tradition. Feeling are exchanged as well. They provide a great opportunity to establish world peace and love, friendship and brotherhood, forgetting racial conflict and contradictions. If the teaching of Hajj is implemented in our society, quarrel, discourse, riot, fight among people will be discarded, and love, affection, sympathetic attitude, and communal amity will take place instead. Now the homework. Explain the successive roles of performing Hajj. Allah Hafiz.